Day 7 for Tennessee football is in the books. Now they're working towards scrimmage number 1 tomorrow. Here's where I'm going in this video. I'm going to give what I've read today, the observations, not my own, but from others. I'm going to give my takeaways on it. But an interesting article come out from Pete Nakos of On3 today where he's spoken to his sources, and he gives a little bit of a different take on specifically the quarterback battle, but also some intel into some other positions as well. Some really good stuff, and we'll talk about as well. Make sure you hit the like, the share, hit that subscribe button. It is free. Thank you for the support along the way. Let's get into observations today. Number 1, the positives. Lots of positives. The only negatives I'm seeing is just the injuries, which may be precautionary. Positives. Quarterbacks looked solid again today. Jake Merklinger, Joey Aguilar both look solid, and they say George McIntyre's running third. It's said he's looked fine, but this looks to be a Merklinger-Aguilar battle. Some of the Pete Nakos intel is going to shed some more light or shine some more light on it that I'm going to get to right after my observations here, or not my takeaways. Excuse me, wrong term there. But based on what we've seen today, I'm really curious to see how the scrimmage is going to go tomorrow. It seems to me like there's going to be a lot of opportunity for some young guys, as there's quite a few injuries today. But, again, are these precautionary? You don't want to overuse a guy in August. Get them healthy now, and then come game time, that's where we roll with it. But quarterbacks, all week we've heard good things on the quarterbacks and how they've looked. I can't stress this enough, guys. I am really excited about this football team. With that said, and I don't subscribe to the notion of BVS, I'm still at 9-3 because Georgia has dominated Josh Heupel since he's been. Georgia's dominated since the Dobnell boot. We've not beaten Florida nor Alabama since 2003 on the road. All 3 of these games are winnable this year. Make no mistake about it. We've seen this before, and I have to see it. I subscribe to reality in it. Is it realistic for Tennessee to beat those 3 teams? Yes. Something's got to change, though, on the road, and something's got to change against Georgia. I do like the fact that we get Georgia early, though. That could possibly play into our favor, where for the last few years they've not been as early. Used to, when we were dominating Georgia, we played them early in the year. So maybe this will shift it back to Tennessee. But anyhow, looking at, I always look at VolQuest and I look at Rocky Top Insider for their observation. I don't have a 24/7 subscription. I know those guys, though, do a good job too. The big news for me out of the day was Jermod McCoy was practicing today. Said he was in a helmet but no shoulder pads. He's going through the stretches, the individual periods. That's big news. That is big news because people's kind of wondered, where are we at with Jermod McCoy? That's a big one. That's a step in the right direction. So, to me, I still say ideally he's healthy by Georgia. I think we can get by without him against Syracuse and ETSU. And that's no disrespect to Syracuse. I just think they lost a lot last year. And I feel like if you have Colton Hood, Jalen McMurray, Boo Carter, Ricky Gibson, who was out for his 3rd straight day today as well, and then your safeties, I feel we're good there. I feel that's a good secondary just in general. You add Jermod McCoy to it. I don't think, based on those first 2 games, you want to rush him back with it. I stick to it. I expect Tennessee to show Syracuse what it's all about in Atlanta. I just expect them to come out of the gate, guns a-blazing, and cover that spread. I just do, especially when Syracuse kind of getting a little – I don't blame them. They want to prove a point, but we're going to see who proves the point when they're down there. That was a big one, though, with him. Your guys still, again, I say, what's the scrimmage going to look like? McCoy's not going to scrimmage. Ricky Gibson's been out the last 3 days. He's not going to scrimmage. Colton Hood was in non-contact today. Does he scrimmage? Says he was practicing, but he was in a red jersey today. So what does that mean for him tomorrow? I mean, a guy like William Wright, walk on, we've seen him in games over the last few years. He was off to the side today as well. To me, and you couple that with Chris Brazzell being out, Braylon Staley was out again today. It said Mike Matthews did shed the red jersey today, practice for the third straight day. So you're going to see a lot of youth going at it in the wide receivers versus corners tomorrow. Be pretty interesting. There's a lot of opportunity there for these freshmen that come in like Petit and Redmond. Those guys have some opportunity to really show themselves on it. McMurray will play. I would imagine Boo Carter goes through the scrimmage tomorrow. It'd be interesting what he does on it. Sam Pendleton was back in today. Tight ends, of course, I don't know that Miles Kitzelman scrimmages tomorrow. It said Jack Van Dorseleer was out and will miss the scrimmage. Lots of opportunity for Ethan Davis and Deshaun Bring tomorrow. Is Cole Harrison practicing? That'll be interesting as well. But, they said another good day for the quarterbacks, which was big, accurate, zip on the football. The big, kind of the common thing this week is it's been said not a lot of balls are hitting the turf. That's what you want right there. So that's kind of where the observations were at. Nothing earth-shattering, but, a couple big pieces of news. McCoy practicing, and then that the quarterbacks continue to stand out with it. Now, here's where I said things get really interesting to me. Nakos put out an article a few hours ago. So he talked to his sources on things. And, of course, he says, we all know the eyes of the scrimmage tomorrow is going to be on the quarterbacks. This is one, I don't know how much we'll hear on it because the media doesn't have access. So, who does some of the bloggers, who has an inside source to give them info? It'll get out. It will. It always does. But it'll be interesting to see. But according to Pete Nakos, and he said speaking with sources, and the dude has sources. He is legit. He's very accurate on what he posts. He says, of course, what the sources told him. Aguilar's taking first team reps. Merklinger's been running with the twos. McIntyre's with the threes. But as we know, Merklinger, Aguilar, they've kind of been flipping back and forth on it. But he said a source told On 3 that Aguilar has been solid and his experience has flashed. Tennessee still has to get through his first scrimmage, see how they compete. But he said at this point, the former UCLA and App State transfer has the edge per sources. That's the first that we've heard of anybody kind of taking the lead in this quarterback race. I don't think it's surprising. It's what I've thought would happen. But by all accounts, too, Merklinger's looked really good in this one. Now, does that mean this thing's over? No, I don't think we'll hear anything until game week. I really don't on it. That'll be when I think they announce something, but I wouldn't be surprised by then, too, depending on how the scrimmages go, if things don't start to play out with it a little bit. The biggest thing to me on it is which guy can process and get rid of the football and not stand to take sacks. That's another topic for another time. There was some stuff I saw this week that was really interesting, and it showed the last 2 years where maybe the line got a lot of the blame for the sacks, where in turn, maybe it was the quarterback, because it's a funny thing, Tennessee run the football really well the last 2 years, just with subpar quarterback play for the most part. Another interesting note from Nakos. We've not talked a lot about the running backs, not heard a lot about them, but it's been assumed Deshaun Bishop, Peyton Lewis are your big two guys. But Star Thomas, he said he will be a contributor in the Falls one. Star Thomas, to me, it looks like your classic third down back. He can catch the ball in the backfield. As a veteran, I would expect he can block. Seems to be a quick guy. And a big thing about him as well is he was top 10 in the country last year in making people miss. As we know, Tennessee had trouble with that last year. That's a big addition. Not much about the wide receivers. I think it's a lot of opportunity for the freshmen, a lot of opportunity for Smith Jr., for Rodarius Jackson, Joakim Dotson, Amari Jefferson tomorrow. One guy we don't talk about enough on it is Wendell Moy Jr. Solid offensive lineman. I thought it was a big pickup from Arizona. He'll play left guard from everything I've seen. And something I forget, maybe a lot of us do. Last year, and Nakos reiterated this here, Wendell Moy Jr. played 760 snaps, did not have a penalty, did not give up a sack. That is a welcome addition for Tennessee, because how many silly penalties have we seen over the last few years? This team will get going. Here's a silly penalty. They'll false start, a hold. They get called for a hold where other teams may not, but still yet, that's big there as well. David Sanders Jr., he reiterates Sanders is expected to be the right tackle. One big piece of news, we've talked about Jordan Ross. He was a top 20 recruit coming in 2024. I've talked about on the live Monday night shows, can he take that James Pierce step this year? Remains to be seen, but the good thing so far, he's earned praise from his coaches, and he's doing a lot of good things. And it's said, too, it's really worked out that Coach Chop recruited Jordan Ross. Coach Chop is also Jordan Ross's position coach with the outside linebackers, the Leo. So he's really responding to Coach Chop's coaching. So that may be a welcome addition as well for Jordan Ross. And I think with Chop in there, as far as your outside linebackers, Leos, Chop is an upgrade over where they were last year. Of course, he was working with them anyway. So, maybe it's not that different, but still, yeah, he's officially in that. Of course, Boo Carter practicing, and it says, Nakos said, Boo, a source told him, Boo is back and good. That's big news, because he's one of the best players on the football team. So lots of positives. What happens in the scrimmage tomorrow? I'll be honest with you guys. I'm really excited. I think this is going to be a damn good football team this year. I'm excited to see what wrinkles, what tweaks they put in when teams drop 8 on them. I think now you bring in a guy like Seth Luttrell, who was there when it first happened at Oklahoma last year. Now I know Luttrell's offense, but he knows what's going on. He knows what they saw to put in that drop 8 defense. What wrinkles, what do they put in with it? I think it's going to be a fun year. I really do. We'll see, man. We got a few weeks. It can get here soon enough. I think I'm going to put some stuff out today of basketball and baseball. I'm kind of feeling the sunshine a little bit today. Couple interesting, good things. So I think we're going to have a lot of content today. It needs to get out there. So if you're a basketball guy, baseball guy, I got something coming for you later on, and I'll probably release them once I get them recorded. So have a great rest of your Friday. Frank, House of Orange, and I'll see you when I see you.